Hello, my name is Andrew Matson. This is the fourth oral presentation in Geology 105, course at KU. But enough wasting time here. So let's go back 540 million years ago to the dawn of the Cambrian period, which is the first period in the Paleozoic era, or referred to sometimes as the time of the ancients, from Begley is my source, where the Great Cambrian explosion happened. This period lasted around 53 million years. This time marks a huge point in history for evolutionary changes in organisms. This period was not so much an explosion and extinction event, but multiple bridges, which happened in very short 5 to 10 million year gaps, which is short for evolution, of evolutionary progress. Got that from paleobiology. The major steps in evolution was the formation of the kingdom phylum, which includes multiple things which with few I will discuss. I found it very interesting that we are part of the phylum kingdom, or more specifically, the phylum kingdom includes us, aka humans, in it. So we are a part of the phylum chordata. All members of the chordates, though, have elongated bisymmetrical bodies. Got that from Classification of Living Things, which basically means we mirror our left and right side of our bodies, vice versa, and we look the same. Organisms that came from the explosion that were chordates were clam-like organisms known as brachiopods. Also, arthropods, which are ancestors of spiders, insects, and crustaceans like lobsters, also from Classification of Living Things is my source. The most influential and longest living, toughest prehistoric organism, in my opinion, was actually a trilobite. They range in fossil size drastically, from being in length just mere millimeters, growing all the way up to meters, or 2 feet in length. Their body structure was composed of a flattened, plated, armored, segmented body. That's from National Geographic. They eventually went extinct in the Permian extinction event, which we talked about this week, actually. Another type of chordate, actually the earliest known type of chordate, is known as Picea gracelens. It was a worm-like organism that had a backbone and swam in the middle of the Cambrian Ocean. Fossils of this Picea gracelens have been found in the Burgess Shale of British Columbia. That's from National Geographic. Now, the predator of the time was a shrimp-like creature that had a mouth that was lined with hook-like teeth, which was used to latch onto its prey and give them nowhere to run. It was called an Anemolocaris. That's also from Begley. So the explosion was so significant in a fossil sense because it hardened their bodies enough to preserve many more, actually tons more fossils than in previous eras. Reasons that the event may have happened, some scientists believe, that the large jump in oxygen levels from cyanobacteria and algae led the evolutionary process to flourish and much more rapidly help organisms basically rapidly evolve. The debate today is whether or not the Cambrian explosion was big and influential as it is said to be, but recently discovered Precambrian fossils show that the change was already underway. In the genes and proteins of early fossils, or Precambrian fossils, however you want to say it, and what we can see from the explosion period was the expressing of their phenotypes of the organisms, or basically how they looked. But on the molecular level of the organisms of the time, the change was actually gradual, just as today. That's from paleobiology. Also during the Cambrian period, the supercontinent Gondwana, which was comprised of all the landmass on Earth, started breaking up into much smaller pieces, which created shallow seas where other organisms had further time to specialize over time. I don't think I made any sense there. Basically, the continent broke apart and it gave smaller organisms more time to flourish inside the shallow seas that were created. I don't know if that made any sense on that last part. And at the end of this remarkably huge evolutionary period, like most things that came to an end, it was brought about by the Ordovician extinction event. Also, a side note, the Cambrian period or Cambrian explosion was it affected mainly marine life. So, well, that's my speech, so thank you.